Midnight Conversations, a spiritual journey through the lower chakras. This book contains 21 true stories. Written by Daniel Tura. Copyright 2026 by Daniel Tura. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic or mechanical, including photocopying, recording, or by any information storage or retrieval system without permission in writing from the publisher. This book should be regarded as a reference source and is not intended to replace professional medical advice. Seek the advice of your physician before beginning this or any other health program. The author and the publisher disclaim any liability arising directly or indirectly from the use of this book. First edition. Contents. Introduction. Story number 1, The First Midnight Visit. Story number 2, The Goddess. Story number 3, The Healing Session. Story number 4, The Gypsy Ghost. Story number 6, The Motor Rider. Story number 7, Hillary. Story number 8, The Celebration. Story number 9, Under the Skin. Story number 10, The Tech-Savvy Spirit. Story number 11, The Message. Story number 12, The Harpy. Story number 13, Clara. Story number 14, American Guru. Story number 15, Midnight Doctor. Story number 16, The Circle of Vampires. Story number 17, The Guide. Story number 18, Calvary Woman. Story number 19, The Messenger Spirit. Story number 20, Desperado. Story number 21, The Invisible Car Rider. As we ascend. Introduction. What if dreams would answer your questions? What would you say? Would you be surprised? I was surprised when this happened to me. One day, I found myself talking to my dreams. I was nearly 47 years old and didn't know that such a thing was possible. If one would have told me in my 20s about this, I would have laughed. Through yogic practice, I have increased my senses to the degree where I could sense some strange midnight visitors. I didn't know who they were, therefore I started to communicate with these entities. Most of them answered my questions through dream induction. Shortly, I discovered that they were after my energy. I wondered why they wanted my energy in such an insistent way. It turns out that energy is the exchange currency of the universe. Quantum physics has brought substantial scientific evidence stating that the building blocks of what we see all around us is pure energy. We are all interconnected in a huge energetic network which spans throughout the entire universe, known in scientific terms as quantum field. In quantum field theory, particles are not independent, but rather localized vibrations of underlying fields, appearing like waves in an ocean. Every object that you see around in your house has its own aura, is energy. Energy simply is. It is not created nor destroyed, but transformed. Energy has its own frequency and vibration. Frequency is measured in hertz, Hz, and refers to the back and forth motion of subatomic particles that make up matter or energy. Everything vibrates at a different frequency. Higher frequencies correspond to higher vibrations, whereas lower frequencies correspond to lower vibrations. Every thought, word, action, and emotion is energy. Emotion is energy in motion. It represents an energetic manifestation. Positive emotions such as compassion or empathy are linked to high vibration. Negative emotions such as fear, aggression, or rage are linked to lower vibration. The highest vibration of all is love. Nikola Tesla emphasized that in order to understand the universe, one must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, believing these are the fundamental principles governing all existence. He viewed everything, matter, light, sound, and even consciousness, as manifestations of energy vibrating at different frequencies. In yogic practice, our body is believed to have 5 energetic layers, koshas. These layers cover the true self, moving from the physical body to the innermost bliss body. These layers serve as a roadmap for self-discovery. The astral body is often described as the vehicle of emotions, desires, and dreams, and is believed to exist on the astral plane. The astral body is often called subtle body, and it refers to consciousness. It is composed of 3 main layers: the energy layer, pranamaya, mind layer, manomaya, and intellect, vijnanamaya. This body, which survives physical death, contains 72,000 energy channels, nadis, and chakras, serves as the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. The 7 main chakras represent energy centers of the subtle body. They are aligned along the spine, from the tailbone to the crown of the head. These spinning wheels of energy govern physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The 7 chakras cannot be seen with the naked eye. Therefore, many people, including medical doctors, don't believe in their existence. Think about it. God cannot be seen with the naked eye either, but many of the same people believe in His existence. The energy powering up your computer cannot be seen either, but exists. Balancing the 7 chakras through yoga, meditation, and mindfulness promotes harmony and prevents blockages. When blocked, or when there's too much energy flowing through chakras, they become underactive or overactive, which manifests as emotional, physical, or behavioral imbalances. These energy centers are connected in our bodies to particular organs, fluids, tissues, or bones, which get affected by our energetic state. Energy is life. When our body is low in energy, our immune system drops. Therefore, chakras have a powerful impact on our lives and the way we feel. The 3 lower chakras, namely the root chakra, Muladhara, the sacral chakra, Swadhisthana, and the solar plexus chakra, Manipura, are responsible for our basic needs in life, such as stability, emotional regulation, or willpower. When we're taken by the flow of life and we don't pay attention to our energy flow, we suffer. Blockages and imbalances start with early childhood, when our life is shaped according to how others want us to be. This is when childhood trauma installs, and its projections negatively affects our adulthood. As we look around, we may easily observe many people with emotional outbursts of all kinds, causing relationship problems, drama, conflict, and chaos in the world. Most of today's world is actually stuck in the root chakra. By default, there's some people that succeed to pass beyond the sacral chakra, but not that many. Few are those able to actually ascend higher to the heart chakra, the 4th energetic center. The world as we see it today is mostly stuck in survival mode. We may say that we're living in a world governed by the lower chakras. Once we work on our personal stability, emotional health, childhood traumas, or belief system, we free up space for light to fill up our lives with love, freedom, health, prosperity, and all the good vibrations so needed to ascend towards higher states of consciousness. Many people that have left our physical dimension were living life being lost in the labyrinth of the lower chakras. After they have passed away, they have moved their emotional turmoil into the spirit world, where they continue their ordinary business filled with drama, conflict, fear, or lack. People in general believe that life doesn't make sense. However, there is no coincidence that we are here in this physical dimension. Enlightened spiritual people have understood why, while the rest of the world is still asleep. It seems that becoming better people in this physical dimension, once we pass beyond the veil, we rank higher in the spirit realm. Following, I'm going to briefly describe the 3 lower chakras as major regulators of our own well-being.
The root chakra. Muladhara. Element: earth. Color: orange. Seed mantra: Lam. Planet: Saturn. Astrological sign, Capricorn. Petals, 4. Mind, intellect, consciousness, and ego. Location, between the anus and scrotum in men and between anus and vagina in women. Symbolizes safety, health, stability, fertility, and tribe. It is responsible for our instinct of survival and basic needs such as water, food, shelter, medicine, procreation, sleep, and community. Associated with the adrenal glands, lower intestine, anus, penis, feet, kidneys, skeleton, legs, joints, spinal column, and nerve plexus. In women, sexual organs are governed by the sacral chakra, while in men by the root chakra. Balanced root. People feel a general sense of peace and well-being. They have an improved physical health and vitality. People feel stable in every way, have increased confidence, feel comfortable in their own skin, and have a sense of connection to Mother Earth. Positives: safe, secure, supported, seen, grounded. Underactive root, closed. It turns one's life upside down. People feel lost, disconnected, experience fear, anxiety, focus issues, feel restless, spacey, or ungrounded. Overactive root. We feel sluggish, tired, heavy, irascible. We experience greed and materialism, resistance to change, become obsessed with their own safety. We feel unable to progress in life and their relationships. This opens the door to overreaction, aggressiveness, and weight gain. Signs of unbalanced root chakra: lack of trust, doubt, attachment, greed, disconnection, isolation, self-pity, anger, insecurity, foggy mind, pessimism, lethargy, fear, anxiety, restlessness, depression, low self-confidence, lack of belonging, addiction, cynicism, negativity, disappointment with life, rejection, criticism, people-pleasing, dizziness, feeling stuck, materialism, lack of focus, panic, frustration, feeling overwhelmed, aggressiveness, feeling disorganized, etc. Blocked primarily by fear. Stones: black tourmaline, onyx, red aventurine, red jasper, ruby, smoky quartz, hematite, red tiger's eye, garnet, bloodstone. Herbs: angelica, burdock, cayenne, cedarwood, clove, dandelion, nutmeg, paprika, rosemary. Sacral chakra. Svadhisthana. Element: water. Color: orange. Seed mantra: Vam. Planet: Moon, Mercury, Jupiter. Astrological sign: Taurus, Scorpio. Petals: 6. Anger, hatred, jealousy or suspicion, cruelty or lack of love, desire or lust, and pride. Symbolizes action, flexibility, creativity, emotion, sexuality, pleasure, relationships, and mood. Location: below the navel. Associated with taste, genitals, testes and ovaries, the upper and lower intestine, bladder, kidneys, gut-brain, and digestive system. Balanced sacral. Our internal emotional lake is calm. We experience delight in sensual and sexual play. We allow to express the full range of our emotions. We're feeling creative, we engage into fluid movements such as dance. The water element of this chakra may be calm or disturbed by different emotions that arise at a given moment and are influenced by both internal and external factors. Positives: happy, excited, fulfilled, enthusiastic, confident, motivated, free, adventurous, focused, eager, inspired, expressive, ambitious, creative, sexually satisfied, sexually accepted, sexually free, satisfied. Underactive sacral, we have the tendency to be insensitive and cruel. We find difficulty in expressing desires. We feel timid, nervous, and withdrawn. Overactive sacral, this is the case when people feel controlled by their own emotions, have addictive personalities, and tend to be manipulative. When people feel overwhelmed, cling to unhealthy attachments, and engage in all kinds of excesses. Signs of unbalanced sacral chakra: pride, arrogance, lack of motivation, lack of direction, laziness, feeling stuck, distraction, feeling limited, lack of expression, indulgence, destructiveness, lack of empathy, disdain, delusion, suspicion, manipulation, aggressiveness, excesses, wrath, jealousy, envy, lust, promiscuity, humiliation, cruelty, excessive desire, drama, sadness, fear, confusion, anxiety, ignorance, greed, anger, lethargy, attachment to identity, embarrassment, shame, frustration, lack of courage, isolation, unsatisfaction, sexual block, hate, excessive, desire. Blocked primarily by guilt. Stones: orange calcite, opal, imperial topaz, tangerine quartz, carnelian, sunstone, goldstone, neon stone, topaz. Herbs: amber, sandalwood, ginger, tangerine, vanilla, clove, cinnamon, fennel, ylang-ylang, rosemary. The solar plexus chakra. Manipura. Element: fire. Color: yellow. Seed mantra: Ram. Planet: Sun, Mars, Jupiter. Astrological sign: Leo. Petals: 10. Spiritual ignorance, craving, jealousy or treachery, shame, fear, disgust, delusion, foolishness, and sadness. Symbolizes personal power, self-esteem, inner fire, emotional regulation, ego, self-opinion, and digestive health. Location: just below the rib cage. Associated with the solar plexus, stomach, digestive organs, upper intestine, middle back, pancreas, gallbladder, and muscles. Balanced solar plexus. We have willpower, feel confident and proud. We feel fit, healthy, and with a lot of strength. We easily engage into actions. We feel courageous, and we clearly see progress in all we do. We finish what we start. We do what we say. We move our bodies and exercise. We are emotionally stable and in tune with our goals, passions, and personal power. Positives: confident, healthy, fit, active, ambitious, courageous, including willpower, desire, intent, visible progress, strength, perseverance. Underactive solar plexus: self-dislike, shame, lack of personality, no mental or physical stamina, lack of control, suppressed inner fire, low willpower, low self-esteem, inability to accomplish things, victim mentality or blaming others. Too much energy flowing through this chakra opens the door to narcissism, control management issue, feelings of always being right while others are always wrong. It also generates relationship problems, inflated ego, arrogance with tendency towards aggression, violence, and orientation towards success and power. Signs of unbalanced solar plexus chakra: anger, criticism, negativity, inferiority, feeling unworthy, fear, low energy, pride, low self-esteem, control, procrastination, sadness, foolishness, delusion, disgust, shame, jealousy, treachery, ignorance, blame, power obsession, materialism, attachment, no compromises, competition, lack of sensitivity, selfishness, resentment, greed, irritation, hate, envy, destructiveness, violence, cruelty, tension, addiction, worry, anxiety, disconnection, etc. Blocked primarily by shame. Stones: citrine, amber, calcite, yellow jasper, pyrite, yellow topaz, agate, lemon quartz, sunstone, tiger's eye. Herbs: ginger, cinnamon, turmeric, curry, sandalwood, musk, anise, cumin, fennel, saffron.
My story begins with an episode of depression that lasted for about a year. One day someone said a word that triggered in me a feeling of low self-esteem. Suddenly, I felt thrown back in time when I was a little boy and under my narcissist father's oppression. I felt emotionally fragile and limited. One night, a couple of friends invited us to join them for dinner. Another visitor joined us as well. He was puzzled on why I was over 45 years old and had no kids or wife. Living in a country where nearly everyone has a life partner, this was something odd for many people, including my family. Some people started to tease me just because I was single. I responded back to his question by sharing bits of stories about my life. Following, he said something that got me thinking. The problem is not them, but you. This simple statement has awakened the giant within myself and prepared me for my own self-discovery journey. I had to dive within myself and see what was hidden in there, which did not let me live my life as I wanted. I was determined to swim through the mud of chaos, conquer depression, and put my life in order once and for good. I told my mother about my self-discovery intent. She said, "Why do you want to discover yourself? You already know who you are." "Yes," I replied, "I know who I am, but there's things which happen to me and I don't know why. I have to understand what's going on." My childhood was a bittersweet experience. Both positive and negative elements dominated my life. I have passed through emotional and physical abuse. The projections of these traumas manifested in my adulthood and shaped my life in a particular way. I couldn't give a speech in front of a public, or when I was getting upset, rarely. It turned my life upside down for quite a while. I have struggled with addiction as well. I have noticed random psychological patterns governing my life, which were running in compulsive cycles. I knew these to have to do with my childhood traumas, but I didn't know how to solve my problems. Psychological therapy wasn't my thing, so I had to find a better way. Childhood trauma has taught me something, though, to respect the value of peace, harmony, and understanding. I guess these were the gold nuggets hidden deep into the negative experiences that I went through. I have passed through 4 attempts to find my soulmate so far. Everyone I dated was broken, just like me. In my intimate relationships with people, instead of finding peace, understanding, and harmony, I found conflict, control, manipulation, criticism, judgment, fear, and many other such negative emotions to prevail. Those I dated represented a mosaic of highs and lows, manifested through introversion, extroversion, or both, drama, delusion, workaholism, addiction, attention deficit disorder, bipolar behavior, hypersensitivity. Was it bad luck? No, it was plain reality. Was it coincidence? No, because in life, nothing is coincidence. But this is not a localized thing. If you look around, most people seem to have the same issue of emotional dysregulation. Drama and addiction are seen everywhere because of it. No wonder that today's prisons are packed with people that couldn't control their emotional outbursts. National and international conflicts are roaming around in the world today because of the same thing. It's a fact. We came into this world without instructions on board and were left to walk around blindfolded to find the light in the midst of chaos. Our parents did what they could to show us the way, but what can we expect from broken caregivers? They were broken by their own parents. Broken caregivers raise broken kids. Broken people, broken world. It is a vicious cycle that repeats itself until addressed. This book is a glimpse from my adventure of sailing the high seas of the spirit realm in a small boat with the main purpose to work on my emotional body. This book comprises 21 true stories of spirit encounters and conversations with them during midnight. These stories reflect my spiritual self-discovery journey. With unsolved past traumas and emotional issues on board, my spiritual adventure turned to be pretty wild at first, but it has calmed down once I quieted my inner emotional lake and worked on my past traumas. This is my journey through the dark avenues of the lower chakras in the crazy attempt to fight my own demons. End of the introduction section, written by the author Daniel Tura.